What's going on YouTube? Super Insane 18 here, and we are here with a top 5 meta decks for the July 2021 ban list. The video that I was planning for today unfortunately won't be able to come out until next week, so stay tuned for that. It is a good one. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So kicking things off at number 5, I'm actually going to take Salamangreat here. Now, Salamangreat is a fairly decent deck now that we have Mirage Stalio back. It makes it very easy to start your duel with a rank 4, being either Baguska or Abyss Dweller, which for the most part will completely counter any of the other decks on this list except for one, and you'll see that when we get there. But the consistency in it, the fact that you can search pretty much everything in your deck, draw almost anything in your deck, you can search your Rage or your Roar and have other back row to back it all up and just continue to recur your resources on the following turn. Not to mention the fact that you can just OTK with Access Code Talker, making it using the update jammer so it can attack twice, and it is just insane. And 4th place is going to have to go to Invoke Shaddoll. Now, this isn't my own list, this is a list that I saw top a Remote Duel Regional, but it does look fairly solid. Honestly, Winda is just an obscene card. There is no reason for Winda to just be so easy to tutor out. Stopping you from special summoning more than once is absolutely crazy, and if you don't have something like a Droplet or a Dark Ruler or a Kaiju or some other just way to out that, you're just gonna lose flat out. This deck can not only put out the Winda, but you can also back that out with a Makaba or a Dragoon, other, just various things, and the fact that Schism will let you make a Winda on your opponent's turn, it just really feels unfair. Unfortunately, it's just not as good as the other 3 decks that are above it, but it is definitely a top contender for this meta. Number 3, unfortunately, we have to address the elephant in the room, and that is Sky Striker. Engage coming back is honestly probably one of the worst moves that Konami could have done. Even putting it at 1, Kagari went back to 3 once Engage got banned, so it's almost like you just have 3 Engage anyway, and this list is actually one that already took 1st place at an online tournament. The fact that, the day or 2 after the card comes back, it's already winning events, I definitely think that Engage is going to need to be rebanned on the next list because it is just crazy. Unfortunately, again, the 2 above this are just slightly better in my opinion, but Engage is an unfair card. Search 1, draw 1, recurable every single turn. What else can you ask for? The fact that you play such a small monster count, you are able to just jam pack it with a bunch of hand traps, and your opponent's just not going to have a good time. Shark Cannon is arguably one of the best Sky Striker cards this format because of the top 2 decks relying so much on their cards in the graveyard. But we will get into that in just a moment. Sky Striker is definitely a threat for this game right now, and definitely something to watch out for. Coming in at number 2, we actually have Tri-Brigade, and I still think that the Zodiac variant is relatively good, even though that we don't have Trident. This is the list that I'm currently playing. You can see that we took out the Whiptail because we're not really leaving Trident on the field anymore, so we don't really need a Whiptail under anything. And we actually took out the Barrage as well because honestly, we just want to see Rat, and Tenki accomplishes that, whereas Barrage won't let us get the send that Rat's effect gets when normal summoning. But we do have a new addition in the Blackwing Zephyros. That is actually insane when you pair it with something like Karas, because Karas can pitch it, and then you can bounce cards to get more summons, and it's just crazy. I did go towards more of a Wind Barrier statue base as well, kind of combining the 2, because with less zoo cards, it is less likely to see them. So in a just generic scenario, if you can't see your zoo cards, you can still end on the Samorg, get the Wind Barrier statue, and that's pretty much GG if your opponent can't out that. And you're really going to prevent them from outing it, because even if they do, you have your traps to back you up, you have Revolt, you have all of the resources for your next turn. Tri-Brigade is just an absolutely insane deck, and I can't wait to see what it does moving forward. Now, before we get into the number 1 deck, there is one honorable mention that I would like to kind of throw in here, and that is Prank Kids. Unfortunately, I just don't think Prank Kids cuts it as the top 5, but it's probably 6th if I had to actually rank it. It's very good being able to set up pretty much just Raigekis on your opponent's turn, grind you out for game just because it can burn you, it can gain its own life points, it's unfortunately there. I don't really like decks like that where it'll just stall and win on time, but it does exist, and it is something that you need to look out for, so just kind of keep that in mind. And let's go on and move into number 1. And if you didn't already guess, it is going to be Drytron. This is the same profile that I showcased on my channel a couple of days ago. It did take me to top 8 in my local tournament, and I just think it's crazy. The fact that you can just get so much off so little, end your turn on 4 to 5, sometimes even 6 interruptions. It's super consistent. The only hand trap that just flat out stops you is Droll and Lockbird, and you're playing a ton of outs. You've got your 3 orange lights, you've got the instant fusion for the Millennium Eyes, you've got the Called by the Grave, and the Prosperity to dig for it. So like in a vacuum, you know, you can Prosperity and you can grab one of your outs, and if they Droll you on that, you already just have the out to the Droll. It's absolutely crazy because the one hand trap that stops it is easily stopped by it. So I definitely think that Drytron is the #1 deck to look out for, definitely the #1 deck to play if you want to just win. And there you guys have it. That is going to be my top 5 meta decks for the July 2021 format. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It is a little bit of a shorter video. Unfortunately, like I said, my plan for today's video didn't quite pan out. I spent a lot of time working on that and had to come up with this as my backup. So if you guys enjoyed, I definitely appreciate a like, a subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you guys next time.